Welcome to Insights. I'm Eric. Let's talk about crude oil here. It's been a while since we had a discussion about it. We have an interesting phase code here at R+5. We're going to talk about what that means. The three time frames for crude oil are down, up, and down, which creates a double down sequence, which is down daily and down primary. And in the composite trend, we can see the statistics here. It's up. The price action was for crude oil was short at 42. The current price is at 41. It's 5 days old. The X bar, which is the mean cycle score for price and time, is above zero at 0.07, which is one of the reasons why this is generating a mid cycle or a mid definition instead of an early cycle. This is mid cycle, and then there's late cycle. So this is something that reset downwards. It's not triple down, it's double down only 5 days ago, and it's already extended beyond the norm, which is the zero mark, which is right here, and it's highlighted blue to attract our attention. We're looking for bolded minus green or minus numbers or green numbers, and that's not there. The problem is that the down impulse for crude oil has been down for 15 months. It doesn't seem like that because everyone's talking how great oil looks now and how we're in a V recovery, but we haven't even turned down the initial impulse that went down on 1/1/20 during the height of the COVID panic and everything else, and we're still down, and this is a pretty profitable trend. This has been down for 15 months, and it's 109% down for profit for on the short side, which according to many of the gurus on the internet, you wouldn't even know that. You would think that this thing has been up since day one, but in reality, we haven't even flipped the primary trend yet. So the question is this a reset that I'd be interested in? Well, that's something that, number one, I generally don't short or buy double up or double down sequences because you don't have the weekly trend supporting it yet. So this is the three time frames aren't in agreement. It can pull the weekly down and you can get triple down. But usually what happens is it's what the market is telling us with this is that the weekly might need more time, and that time you might see another rally before then ultimately everything flips down into triple down. So we're just not there yet. We'll take a look at the energy build and we're going to see what could be happening. So let's look at the energy well, first it's right here. It's minus 56 and minus 48. Those are pretty sizable builds on a bearish side. But really, to understand this, we're going to have to click this chart and pull up the DI charts. And if you want to click these links, you can do that. I'm going to go to my interactive chart so we can take a more engaging look at the DI charts. You can click at yours, and you're going to see a similar chart that's being pulled up here. We can see that energy. Here's the primary trend. It's still down despite the recovery here. This slide was it was immense. It was just powerful. It was impressive. It was scary. It's almost like people forgot it even existed, which it hasn't. OPEC saved the day by cutting supply, and quite honestly, if they were pumping probably pre-COVID levels, the price would probably be back down testing the low. So they turned off the spigot, kind of saved the day for a while. But we can see that we haven't resolved the energy build. And waterfall declines are not uncommon for crude oil. You get these powerful declines, and then you get some chopping action with lots of blocking domes, a strong DI cluster build, and maybe you call them 1, 2, 3 of them, but a lot of grinding action for years. We could be set for that for crude oil instead of off to the races, unless they don't turn on the spigots ever again, or demand is permanently capped off at the knees. You're going to go through this sideways action, probably pulling sideways here, where you see a similar setup of a 1, 2, 3, maybe a slightly different count, but essentially builds, any bearish energy builds, usually it takes at least 3 or 4 of them, or 3 major clusters of bearish energy builds to send the price down. It doesn't mean that you can't see a correction. See a dip here, you saw a dip here. After the 2, we saw a dip that almost saw the lows. After 2, we almost caught the lows again. Finally in the 3rd. So it's not probably really smart to be chasing the crude oil against a primary downtrend to the long side here. I mean, that's most people don't even understand the direction of the primary trend, so it's not something I can even probably reach them. If we look at the bullish energy builds, we can see that there's a few of them, but they tend to come when the market declines, and we're nowhere near a bullish position. This rally is not set up by a bullish energy build. So this is a dangerous rally, and it's pretty much, there's a lot of white highlights when I switch it over to bear, just like we saw here, just like we saw here. It's going to slow the rally if this doesn't back off. Ultimately, this energy build needs to move from here to here, and that usually takes place with a grinding or downward action to do that. And we haven't relieved that yet, but it's not. We'll head back to the matrix. This is not something that you really want to engage in on the short side necessarily, because this is a double down, but the computer is scoring as mid-cycle already because this number is above 0. It tells us the weekly is extended, or I'm sorry, the monthly is extended, like here in price, and it's extended in time still. So this is not an ideal chase. It's not a hugely bullish number. So, but if I was going to chase something that was around the 0, I probably would wait for triple alignment. So this is an R5. It's a reset that was 5 days ago. Reset down. Reset is short, which is, nobody's talking about that, but it's not a powerful one. Double down or double up are just not quite as powerful as the triple alignment time frames. In terms of seasonality, crude oil tends to do fairly well through about April, and then ultimately I think that's where the weakness would come, is in the June, July time frame. This is probably not the time to short between May and April. I don't know if this is an anomaly here for this type of reading. This is only the USO contract. I could run seasonalities probably based on, well, although this is extended longer, I extended this one to 1973. So this must include the continuous contract or the oil contract. So I would probably stay away from shorting any of these positions due to the seasonality, due to the fact that it's doubled down and it's mid-cycle. And then the energy build, well, it is bearish, and you probably maintain your short core position that's in crude oil, which is not something people are talking about. There's not really too much else to do. This could be a setup where once the energy build is released from down here up to here, you could then get another surge again. Maybe it's setting up, the inflationary move is setting up, and it could be driven by supply, or it could be driven by conflict or war. But ultimately, if you're looking to go long, you can't do it while the energy build's down here. You want to do it when the energy builds are in the opposite position here, or sliding down, although buying water-filled decline is always difficult. Really, the time to buy is when after the decline, but then you have an energy build. Here's a bullish energy build. Here's a bullish energy build. These are buying the lows. You're buying the lows that within the drawn out consolidation, just like you are here and here and here. But ultimately, these were trading bottoms anyways, because the price just stair-stepped lower. So if you have any more questions about crude oil, contact me directly. This is a open content review. There's not really too much specifically to talk about here, other than this is a little bit unique. It's a reset. It's a double down. It's not a favorable. If you're looking to probably short or go long, there's markets that are early cycle. I tend to focus on markets that are early cycle rather than mid cycle. So if you have any other questions about crude oil, contact me directly through the blog. Follow the links below the video. You can comment on the video, or like the video if you like, or come back and ask questions about the matrix, or sign up for the matrix. I'm sure if you're a crude oil trader or interested in crude oil, you're going to want to know where this energy build is going. You want to click this chart at least weekly to see where that build is, and you probably want to follow and see where the primary trend is and see where the alignment across the 3 time frames are. So it's not really something that you can ask me, because ultimately the matrix is what puts this information out, and I just follow it like the rest of you. So thanks for watching the video, and have a good trading week.